Hello everyone, it's Susie from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're all well. I hope you're looking after yourself, importantly looking after your family and your friends, looking after your putty cats, looking after your beautiful animals, looking after any animal you've got, looking after the environment, looking after the fauna, and also just being kind to people in this world, whether they're strangers or not, just to make this world a better place. A report that I'd like to just talk about, and it's sort of on the same theme of the recent reports that I published, the one from Deutsche and a few other of the chartered accounting firm reports. It is very, very bullish blockchain and distributed ledger technology for the next 10 years or so. And this is the similar vein report. It's a Ripple blockchain report that just got released, the flywheel set in motion. And it really, the stats are very, very familiar to the previous stats that I cited from Deutsche Bank and a few of the very large chartered accounting firms that also did their own studies on blockchain. They actually surveyed 153 respondents across 21 different countries, and the findings of the report I find very, very interesting and very bullish for cryptocurrency, particularly for payment cryptocurrency, which one could conclude from that or assume that it's going to be very bullish for Ripple's technology going forward, and XRP particularly. So I tend to think, not that I'm giving people investment advice, this is education only, but I do tend to think that 2020 is going to be a very, very big year for cryptocurrency, and I do think it's going to be a fairly big year, a very big year for Ripple technology, and also the coin as well. I do believe that Ripple's payment technology is the best in blockchain and distributed ledger technology. Just to make that clear, Ripple doesn't have, it's not blockchain like Bitcoin. Distributed ledger technology is a subset of blockchain. So Ripple, as you know, don't rely on miners. So it's distributed ledger technology with their own consensus, and it's a subset of blockchain, which blockchain is like you have the blocks in terms of Bitcoin, that the data gets filled up with the blocks, the transactions, all that, and then they release another block every 10 minutes. Ripple's technology is completely different to that. But getting back to this report, which I found very interesting, I have to say, this report starts, as I said, with 153 respondents surveyed over 21 different countries in the world, and it reveals a widespread adoption of blockchain-based payments by financial service providers. It showed very strong signals from customers and providers that there will be proven value of feasibility in blockchain. More trust has been won. It goes on to say that in the next couple of years, 35 respondents are in production and 27% are nearing implementation. That's 68% state they've deployed during the last 2 years. More respondents view the blockchain as a means to fuel growth ambitions. 31% are seeing opportunity in using blockchain to expand both their existing services and into new regions, new services in existing regions. So up from 21% in 2018, 67% recognise the cost of efficiency of blockchain network, and basically, you know, just the speed of it, the reduced costs that the banks aren't, you know, taking and tearing huge, you know, costs out of you when you do a foreign currency transaction domestically or cross borders and that sort of thing. So payment providers with market expansion goals dominate early adopters. 41% of respondents in production believe the blockchain is seeking to expand geographically, and 75% of respondents are very interested in digital assets. This interest jumped to 85% for those who are already using blockchain production. So this report is very, very bullish. It was written by Ripple. It actually goes on to say that nearly 55% of the world's population is online. I wasn't aware of that. Certainly in Africa, which is very interesting. Bill Gates suggested it as well. Africa doesn't have a lot of banks, of course. They're very underbanked, but a lot of Africans have phones. And with a phone, you can certainly use blockchain technology and distributed ledger technology, and you can certainly trade cryptocurrencies. And that's also coupled with declining value of fiat currency in these countries, and even in South America. If the currency continues to decline, like we've seen in Venezuela and Argentina, and even say in Turkey or Africa, people are going to switch very quickly into other cryptocurrency, and we've certainly seen that in parts of Africa, particularly where cryptocurrency has traded as a premium to, say, some of the Western exchanges, okay? And we've seen that quite a lot in the past. They're saying 6% of people worldwide have smartphones, and approximately 87% have mobile phones across the globe, okay? So really, when you look at that, the world is becoming more online, and certainly with the internet figures that I showed you yesterday from the Deutsche Bank report, it looks like literally the whole world in the next couple of years is going to be absolutely online, which is very, very bullish for cryptocurrency technology and very bullish for the crypto market per se. Now, the crypto market, as you know, has been down for 2 years come January. And generally when a market's been down for 2 years, and there's such value, as I said, in altcoins and all sorts of coins, even some of the leaders, how far do you sell this market down, honestly? How far can it keep being sold down when this technology is at the forefront of technology in the world? It's the biggest technology, as I said before, since the internet. How far can you keep selling this stuff down when, honestly, this technology, as I said, there's some coins that are less the price than a cup of coffee or cheaper than even a toothpick. You can't even buy anything these days for under 1 cent, seriously. And there's some coins and tokens out there that have incredible technology, and they're under 1 cent to buy 1 unit of that coin and that technology, which I think is quite amazing. Okay, so have a good read of this report. I will put it up in the links, but it really, really bodes a very, very positive picture for blockchain technology and distributed ledger technology. It looks at the survey, who they looked at, as I said, 153 respondents, 21 countries, and it looked conducted August and September of 2019. So it's very recent, and it looked at these company industries, okay? So, money transmitters, retail banks, digital banking, payment aggregators, and that sort of thing. It looked mainly at these areas. As you can see, Asia Pacific, 41%, 14%, 16% is Europe, 14% Latin America, and 15% is North America. And basically all the different companies that looked at the respondent title, the level that it was actually, asking the executives or who they were they in a position where they could actually change things, and they certainly were. Senior management directors, VPs, high directives as such. So they use this spinning wheel flywheel analogy for the pace of blockchain and digital asset. And I guess what that means is the faster this gets taken on, even faster will this thing get taken on. So one big bank or another competitor takes it on again, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And believe me, when these things take off, they will get bigger and bigger. Once this happens, everyone will start, getting into this. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to talk about the flywheel to spin faster requires expedient implementation for financial institutions gaining regulatory clarity, and the boost of digital assets offer when paired with blockchain technology for cross payments. So if we go to the next one here, there's basically saying we're here and pretty much building trust and demand. We've moved through 1, 2, 3. We're building trust and demand, and the next level is the flywheel effect. Expedient move to go live and boosting with digital assets. So we're already more than halfway there. So proven value and feasibility. This report goes on and basically says it's very, very opportunistic. The vast majority, 87% of respondents, were considering implementation of blockchain technology to realise their ambition. In addition, only 18% had already deployed or were near deployment. So look, next year, there's no doubt about it, we're going to see a very, very big year. Now, if we look at just the difference between last year and this year, 2018, digital payments of goods and services was less. Obviously, this year it's much more. Mass disbursement, again, we're seeing more. Micropayments, a little bit slower, but remittances are right up as well when you look at the scale here. Okay, so it is getting bigger and bigger. which is fantastic, and that's what we want to hear. 99% of respondents see at least technology for payments, up from 88% in 2018. Now that bodes very well for Ripple and XRP. Okay, now their technology works. Don't believe the FUD that you hear from other people that don't have the skills, don't have the knowledge, have never worked in financial markets. As I said before, if their technology didn't work, they would be sued to the hilt. Okay, that's a fact. Their technology works. Look at everything. If you have the facts, you know the facts, don't listen to the fudders out there, because they have no idea, seriously. And I'll say that again. If it didn't work, they would be sued. 97% are implementing or evaluating blockchain to capture new market opportunities and payments, up from 82% in 2018. Value at both ends of adoption spectrum. They talk about reliability, speed, greater market access, and transparency. Okay, better exchanges, all that sort of thing. So it is a very, very, very good report, I have to say. If we go through, reliability, market access, speed, transparency, lower costs, and that's what pretty much blockchain and distributed ledger give you pretty much, okay? It talks about more and more respondents moving into production, testing, piloting, that sort of thing, okay? Competitive heat driving adoption, and that doesn't surprise me, because if you're a corporate or a bank or a retail bank or whatever, and you can save using Ripple's technology internally with XRP 30%, or buying XRP externally with the exchanges, you can save 70 basis points off your bottom line. That's effectively giving you 70 basis points or 70 cents out of $1 back to your profit. If you've got 70 cents back to your profit over and above your competitors, you can start getting the other competitors' clients by reducing your fees on everything to get the competitors' clients. So I'll give you an example of this. If I'm a bank and I'm using Ripple's technology and using XRP, whether it's internally or not, and I'm saving 30 cents or 35 cents off $1 for everything I do through the payment system, or 70 cents off $1, I can now competitively reduce my lending rates and start marketing those lending rates to every other bank out there. So say my lending rates in Australia are anything from 3.5% to 4%, my mortgage, and I see another bank like CBA, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, have a mortgage rate of 2% or 1%, I'm going to go and refinance my mortgage from ANZ or Westpac to CBA at 2%, because CBA is making so many savings on their bottom line using Ripple's technology and XRP. So what that would mean is it drives consumers to go from a bank that's priced too high, very clearly, on mortgages, where my mortgage is sitting and I'm paying interest of 4%. Why would I do that when I can switch that mortgage from ANZ or Westpac and refinance, and it costs me nothing, and I can go to CBA and do it at 2%. And I've saved myself half the interest on 10-year or 30-year or 40-year mortgage, which are long-winded assets of the banks, which are long-winded liabilities from my perspective. So why wouldn't I do that? And that's the whole point. Competition will drive banks, fintech companies to use Ripple's technology, because you won't have a choice going forward. Now, I did some old YouTubes about this probably a year and a half ago, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Competition will drive the competitors to have to use this technology, because they will not be in the same position of someone that is actually using the technology if they're saving 70 cents in the dollar. If you're saving 70 cents in the dollar, you can do so much more with your business, no doubt about that. And that's a lot of money to save on payments and settlements. Absolutely. Notwithstanding that, Ripple's technology is in other things now. They're doing smart contracts. They can do ICO platforms, okay? They've just gone into, into the music industry, into the video industry, where they pay people, creators, for creating music and videos. They're doing all sorts of things. Not only that, they're investing. They're investing in exchanges. They're investing in new ICOs. They're investing in all sorts of things. And more investments they're making. And these guys, Ripple, know what they're doing, okay? They know what they're doing compared to other cryptocurrencies out there and technology out there. There's cryptocurrencies out there that shouldn't even be priced anywhere near where they are, okay? They are just expensive. They've got no business model, no business case, no utility. right? And this is the whole problem with this cryptocurrency market. It's completely on its head. Things that have a business case, they're actually earning revenue, that have clients, you know, seem to be priced very low, and yet other things that have no utility, no clients, no business revenue, are priced very high. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Now don't forget, with Ripple, they have networks of clients, millions and millions of clients. It's not just about 300 clients, right? They've got MoneyGram as a client, but MoneyGram has millions of clients. So Ripple, having a client of MoneyGram, also gets access to millions of clients. MoneyGram in 198 countries in the world. Think about how many clients MoneyGram would have. So Ripple have access to more than 300 clients. It's a network effect. You see what I'm saying? An absolute network effect. So this report is very bullish, I've got to say. Let's just quickly go down to the bottom, because I've got a lot to cover here, and I know it's very, very good. Have a read. I'll put the link up. But what it means is more and more people are interested in it. It's going to happen. Basically, it's getting bigger and bigger. Next year will be a big year for cryptocurrency. And as Bill Gates said, coach him and Belinda and Melinda Gates Foundation, don't forget these guys use Ripple's technology, and they also use XRP. Okay, and they support Ripple technology and XRP. Bill Gates said we're on the cusp of another breakthrough innovation, including the porous in the financial system increases instead of limiting the value of their assets. Transforming the underlying economics and financial services through digital currency will help those who live in poverty directly. So not only does cryptocurrency, Ripple's cryptocurrency and technology, make everything so efficient and so speedy, it can basically transform the life of people and the economics of different countries as well. Now, I've been through this before with special drawing rights, how it can actually get countries out of poverty through the multiplier effect, the Keynesian effect. I did YouTube on that as well. Look, the list goes on and on and on. This technology is incredible, and honestly, the way things are going in the next 2 years, you have to be bullish. Certain cryptocurrencies and certainly Ripple's technology. Ripple's technology, which will certainly feed into XRP. It is just a given. Just be patient. It is a given, absolute given. So I'll put that report up. Have a look at it, and if you've got any questions, please do come back to me. And I'll just show you a few other things as well, because and this is coupled with this report and the same theme. Okay, so won't be a sec. Let me just grab those up as well. So I mentioned this before, the Deloitte survey, and this is very consistent with all the other surveys we've seen, with Deutsche Bank and everything else. Deloitte, which is a very large chartered accounting firm, it's global, found that 83% of executives see a compelling use case for blockchain. They did conduct a very large survey with big organisations and speaking to executives, and they found that 83% of them basically are very, very bullish blockchain. Now, I've mentioned this before, we went through it, 1386 senior executives in all these different countries, and they do see a compelling case, and this is up from 77% last year. So this is consistent, okay, and I've been through this survey before, and I won't go back into it, but this is very consistent, all right? So if we look at something else, I'll just grab another thing here. There was another report which basically says the same thing. Technically, in my mind, XRP has been bottoming, it's been basing. It looks like it could have a big move very soon. It's been basing for a long time at 22 cents. And I believe it's still really cheap. This is not financial advice, but this is just my own personal view. It's been basing, and it's only a matter of time as far as I'm concerned. That's my own personal view. Please don't trade on my personal view. I'm not a financial financial advisor or anything like that, but it's very, very interesting. Now, another report I want to show you very quickly is from XY Crypto. Top banks who utilized Ripple's XRP in 2016 said it worked beautifully, okay? So again, don't believe what you read and hear about what the Ripple fudders say. It's just, they're not right, they've got no idea, and they just don't know. Okay, so as I said, crypto assets, the banks that use them include Barclays Bank, Royal Bank of Canada, Santander Bank, use the XRP and relished in it. again, BMO, CIBC, Intensa, Macquarie Group, which is an Australian bank, National Australia Bank, which is an Australian bank, Westpac, which is an Australian bank. They should also have Commonwealth Bank there as well. All the Australian banks use XRP internally, and I think now they're starting to use externally, and they use the technology, okay? And they said it works beautifully. Okay, now that doesn't surprise me because, as I said before, if it doesn't work beautifully, they're going to get sued. You know, Ripple would be sued to the hilt. They should have Commonwealth Bank there, actually, by the way, because they've used it earlier than anyone, back in 2014, 2015. Okay, a lot of people are waiting for regulation. That's a fact. Regulation needs to be rolled out because the US is certainly behind the curve when we talk about regulation. When we compare them to China, that's already nearly bringing out their own cryptocurrency, which is going to be backed obviously with renminbi, or yuan as they call it. There's two different cryptocurrencies in China. One's the government cryptocurrency and one's the trader cryptocurrency. Another thing, we're seeing more and more exchanges list XRP as the main cryptocurrency. It doesn't surprise me, in the main technology, because they settle within 3 seconds. Now, often when you transact on an exchange, Ripple will settle within 3 seconds, but it does depend on how quickly the exchange moves something. So keep that in mind. Now, Luna Malaysia is one of the 3 regulated cryptocurrency exchanges in the country, and it's set to list XRP on its platform. Malaysia's got a fairly large population, and that's another good story for XRP, okay? You know, they are a large cryptocurrency, and they're also regulated, and that's another positive story for Ripple and XRP. Again, Ripple and XRP are always doing things more than any other cryptocurrency as far as I'm concerned, and the fact is the price is down here. It just shouldn't be. Okay guys, enough of that. I hope you get something out of this. This is education only, not financial advice. I have a disclaimer, not a financial advisor, it's education only. Just want you to be aware of it. If you have any questions, please send me some questions. I do answer everyone's replies on YouTube and whatnot, so happy to answer those questions. Please, if you can, please support me on FlixChimp and Patreon. It's pretty much, you know, it's nice to get some donations occasionally. Not that I'm asking, because I get people are telling me off for this as well. And look, you know, again, but it would be nice to be supported a bit more than that. Also, I'm going to bring out something about cryptocurrency tools. There's so many different types of cryptocurrency tools, and they really help you with looking and assessing the market. So that'll come out very soon. And anyway, please look after yourselves, guys and girls. Look after yourself, look after your family and friends, look after your footy cats, your beautiful animals. Look after people in the world, just strangers, and just make this place a better place. Thank you.